working on the Inclusive Paths project with Momentum, and I'm here in Knockvicar, just outside Boyle in County Roscommon in Ireland, and I'm talking to Andrew from Knockvicar Alpacas, and you'll see the alpacas all around us. So welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Val. Good morning. You're very welcome yourself.
Thanks very much. So the Inclusive Paths project is animal-assisted intervention, and I know through your work that you do have people that come to the farm and they meet the alpacas. And can you tell me a bit about the difference it makes in their lives, the people that come to visit you?
Perfect. Well, I think we work with a number of different services across the spectrum, and for us the most important thing is trying to bring some normality to people's life. So a lot of the groups that come to us have not perhaps had the same privilege that we've had growing up, and it's just a great opportunity for them to be in a very quiet, peaceful environment on the farm, which is very beautiful, and work with animals that have an amazing energy. So just giving people some normality, time away from the busy time of life. Well, we've had the farm since 2012, and we got our first alpacas in 2014, so just a few years now.
And was it, what made you do it? Was it passion, or, you know, was there something that you always wanted an alpaca farm?
Oh, it was a combination of a lot of things. I used to work for an organisation called Social Farming Ireland, and social farming is essentially the practice of taking people who have support needs, disabilities, across the whole spectrum of support needs, and giving them the opportunity to spend a day a week on a farm doing what a farmer does. So within their ability, maybe counting animals or feeding animals or chopping wood, just doing farm activities. And that kind of triggered the idea. And then I met a man on the bog, actually, not far from the farm. And he was talking about setting up a farm that had animals for therapy. And that was kind of the genesis of where we began.
What were the objectives of the farm? Why was your reasoning for setting it up?
So initially with Oliver, the goal was to provide respite to families so they could come and stay in the guest house on the farm, and the alpacas were just, I'd say a secondary, but when we started talking about it, there's a lot of research that says alpacas are excellent as therapy animals. And so that was kind of respite first for people with disability, to get away from it, just to have some time as a family together, and we progressed from there, I guess.
And what makes alpacas such good animals for therapy animals?
Well, they're amazing. Hey, Tashka. He's going to have a bite of my fingers. They're amazing for, first of all, they're a very peaceful animal. Okay, they're a herd animal, and they have a great energy in terms of their behaviour and how they react to each other. So that makes them excellent. They're also easy to socialise. So you can see Tashka was born in March, and already he's learning to just interact with you in a one-to-one basis. You can see his brothers and sisters are not sure yet, but they do learn by observation. And so if you spend time with them and socialise them, then they're very good.
And how many alpacas do you have here?
Oh, we have 40 at the moment.
Wow.
So we keep them in two groups. We have a group of 28 females, which is this group over here, females and babies, and then we have a group of 12 breeding males.
And the team here on the farm, is it just you? Do you have any staff members?
I have a wife. Angela's the other half of our business. She's a therapist in her own right. She's a bioenergy healer and a homeopath, and she's a tapping practitioner. So it ties in very well. The children have always helped on the farm, and they also bring great energy. You know, we work with younger school groups, and the kids are always great at breaking the ice, especially since I can be a grumpy old man sometimes.
And how do people come to know about you? Is there like a referral system, or how do people arrive?
There's 100 different parts. Number one is word of mouth. Okay, that's very popular. We have a website, we have quite an active social media profile, so we have a TikTok. I'm not very good at TikTok. We have Instagram and Facebook. We work with different disability services, so for example, Health Service Executive. Through my contacts through social farming, those people have kept that up, so we host social farming visitors. Farmers bring their participants to the farm. We work with Tusla, so we have a relationship just with them. They've seen the service and used it. We work with the different development companies, so Leitrim Sports Partnership or Leitrim Development Company or Roscommon Sports Partnership. They all bring young people who are on support programs to the farm as well. And then disability services, so because of the fantastic facility we have here, this amazing barn, we can bring people with limited mobility into the barn. We can put the wheelchair in the barn, and we can bring the alpacas in, and they can have the same interaction that a normal mobile person would have. So just word of mouth is the big one.
And when you have someone coming from a vulnerable situation, how many sessions do you think would be good for them with the alpacas?
So traditionally, we've done 1 or 2 sessions, but in conversation with services, it's become clear that it would be lovely to offer some form of a progression, so where we can actually do an interaction, meet the alpacas, then do a demonstration, and then let the young person, the vulnerable adults, actually go through a progression to actually leading an activity. So a 4 or a 6 week program that would build their confidence, but also give them the experience.
And is funding for that a challenge, or how do you get around that?
Funding is always a challenge. We're very fortunate. We've not been particularly driven by funding, but we're not a charity either. So we need to cover our costs. So funding is always a restriction. But the more diversity, the more diverse offerings you can support and offer to people, the greater their reaction is going to be. And you may find that for every different person, different people react in different ways to different supports. And so finding the right support for the right person is always a key objective.
And are there any other challenges? We spoke about the challenge of funding. Are there any other challenges that you have with the service that you provide?
Funding is the big one. We have infrastructure challenges. For example, we don't have wheelchair access restroom facilities, so that's a complication. We have to send people up the road to a local garden centre that has those. Otherwise, no. I mean, we've had young people with a lot of support workers. I think we always see the pretty end of the support in terms of just the service users and their support staff. But sometimes you're overwhelmed by the volume of support staff. And I think another thing that is never really valued is the value that actually support staff get from attending with young people, because their jobs are very difficult. You know, they work in challenging circumstances, and the fact that we can have them here as well, having the same experience as a supported person, is an excellent outcome as well. I don't think that's ever valued.
And you were already part of the Inclusive Paths team, the Learning Week. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Oh yeah, we were very fortunate to be invited by Momentum to go to Ancona in Italy and spend a week meeting some unbelievably amazing people who are really offering fantastic different kinds of supports. I think the biggest learning for Angela and myself was that we hadn't thought big enough. We had, I don't want to say we'd pigeonholed ourselves, but we had an offering, and that's what we were offering. And actually seeing all the different things that we could be doing was really an eye-opener. It's, just with a little bit of extra work, these animals can be socialized to do a load of different things that we hadn't really considered. We'd kind of boxed ourselves into what alpacas would normally be used for, and we're just using that. But actually we've been experimenting with doing different things, more challenging and different activities, and also appreciating that although the alpacas are the attraction, it's not always just the alpacas. We worked with an amazing gentleman, Damiano, and he showed us just doing activities with people in the environment was actually as good an outcome, and the alpacas could just be a side event as well. So those were 2 real good outcomes, real learnings for us.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your time.
No problem. Thank you for coming.